Welcome to another episode of Battle for the Belt. Today we are indoors in a plant pathology lab at Ohio State, and I'm with Jenna Moore. Jenna is a PhD student working with Dr. Horacio Lopez Nacora, and she's going to talk a little bit about her work related to Battle for the Belt.
Thank you, Laura. So I'm really excited about this project. We're working more on the pathology side for the Battle of the Belt. So we've been getting seedlings at VE, samples of the seedlings and then the soil surrounding the seedlings. And we're processing them to see what diseases occur and how prevalent each disease is. So we're processing the soil samples by a soil baiting technique. So we're using a 2-to-1 ratio of soil to water, and then we're baiting with just pieces of soybean leaf discs. And after 48 hours, I will plate the soybean leaf discs, and then that should produce any oomycetes that are present in the soil sample. And then we also are surface sterilizing the seeds and the roots and the seedling tissue, and we're plating that onto APDA. And from that APDA, we get more of the true fungi, so more of the things like Fusarium, Rhizoctonia, we should be able to bait in this way. So you can see from these, we'll isolate from the fungal colonies. We make a pure culture from those, and we have tons of samples to process. Next, we're going to do DNA extraction so that we are really confident in the results. From the plant and the seedling sterilization and plating onto APDA, we were able to isolate what we believe to be Fusarium graminearum from both corn and soybean. And this is interesting just because we know that it can cause gibberella ear rot in corn, and it can cause Fusarium head blight in wheat, and we know it can cause soybean damping off. So it's interesting to see that this disease is occurring in both crops for each planting date. So far, we found it from several different planting dates. But yeah, more results to come. This is preliminary, but eventually we'll have the molecular identification to confirm, and we'll be able to see what diseases are more prevalent and the occurrence of different diseases based on different weather conditions at planting.
So, Jenna, all of these plants were treated with a commercial fungicide seed treatment. Are you surprised at all that you are finding these pathogens?
Yeah, so this is my first time kind of experiencing this, but I am surprised that pretty much from every soil sample and every planting date and rep, we've been able to isolate some oomycetes and some true fungi from every single seedling, or every single rep of 3 seedlings, we've been able to isolate something. Whether those are plant pathogenic or just naturally occurring fungi, that's something we're going to need to do the molecular identification to confirm that it's actually plant pathogenic.
So just to make sure I understand, there are pathogens potentially in the soil, but just because there is a pathogen doesn't mean we'll see the actual soybean or corn disease. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we're going to have to do some weeding out of just like naturally occurring and opportunistic fungi and oomycetes, but we're looking for the ones that are plant pathogenic that could potentially reduce stand or reduce yield.
Excellent. So when will we have all of the results? When can viewers know exactly did these plants have diseases?
Sure. So we're working on doing the molecular identification of the first planting date. I did that earlier in the week. We're sending that for sequencing hopefully by the end of this week. It'll kind of go in rounds, but I would say by the end of the summer, we should have all the data we need to talk about which diseases are more prevalent at which planting dates.
Great. Well, we really appreciate the work you're doing and all of the plant pathology department here and your help with Battle for the Belt. And we will definitely follow back up with Jenna. We'll give you till August. We'll follow back up with Jenna and get some results from this aspect of the study. Thanks, Jenna.
Thank you. Thank you for involving me, and I have a lot of work to do, and hopefully we'll follow up soon with some more results.
Welcome back to the Wooster location for the Battle of the Belt. My name is Lynn Ault, manager at this facility. Today we're doing the 5th and final preparation and planting for the Battle for the Belt. Today is, as you see, we've got ideal conditions. We've had ideal conditions, we've had very poor conditions. dating back to the first planting on April 14th. Current growth stages show that the planting dates on number 3, May 11th, on my right here, is furthest along in the vegetative scale. Corn is currently at the V5 stage, where on our other field, the soybeans are at the V3 stage. So you might say that planting number 3 from May 11th is our sweet spot this year. Soybeans have been planted on the first 2 dates, have had awful poor stands and slow growth. Also included in that is the corn. The first 2 have basically slower growth, but as you see here, the planting from number 3 is a little bit above the second planting here. So far in the battle, I would give advantage corn for the early plantings. Stay tuned for weekly updates for the battle.